What? Why celebrate Easter? That's I think the question on all Unitarian minds at this time of year.
Welcome to Tiny Pulpit Talks. We are here, the special edition from the pastor's study. You got your three ministers here. We're going to be talking a little bit about Easter. Easter's upon us.
It is. It's this week.
So here we go. Daniel.
What is an Easter?
What is an Easter?
Why celebrate Easter? That's I think the question on all Unitarian minds at this time of year.
I have gotten that question more this year than I've gotten in the past 3 years.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I think it's because there is a lot of bad Christianity out there. And I think it's weighing on people, that it's being weaponized and used just to, not to pull any punches, used really awfully on people. And I think it's traumatic. And I think people are like, why are we also talking about this here? This is the one place I come where I don't have to hear about all of this.
Yeah, it's also the one place you come where we reclaim those things, right? I was reading in the UU World actually about reclaiming language that Channing was doing in Unitarian Christianity in the sermon he gave in 1819, and how that reclaiming is actually justice and resistance. And so, I mean, I think we're always kind of working on that, that Easter is not for us the literal resurrection. It has very little to do with that. It has much more to do with moments in all our lives when deaths turn into new beginnings, and all that. So, it's not so much about the Christ as it is about how Jesus' life also sort of pointed in those directions. Again, remembering that this whole story is a redaction of what's happened. So they're writing this story 100 years later, trying to prove something. But what they are proving in that act itself of rewriting is that there was value there. And we don't just give that value up because we have a different interpretation of
Right. By reclaiming it, we're saying there is more than one interpretation of this story, and there are different truths that you can get from it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of like we were talking with new members about the word church. Some of our churches don't use that word. They use congregation or whatever it is, but
Fellowship.
But we use church as a reclaiming to say, no, we're not that different from the churches down the street. We have different theology, but we organize similarly, and we mean the same kinds of things to our people, just with different values, right? And so in the same way, Easter can be ours. It doesn't have to be for the people who put signs on their lawns in Texas that say he is risen,
Right. He is risen indeed.
Yes.
But next to those signs, I've noticed this year in the neighborhood are also enormous Easter eggs all over people's lawns.
Next to the he is risen crosses. Interesting.
Which I really get a key out of Nick.
From the egg.
I think it's just a protest about the cost of eggs.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
I want to explain to people who put a sign that says he's, and I'm not mocking. I'm really curious. If you're that serious about believing that theology, but then you're putting Easter eggs on the same lawn, what is an Easter to them?
Yeah. I mean, I think it is, obviously, American society is confused about a lot of this stuff, but, it does have its roots in pre-Easter, pre-Christian notions. It has its roots in Passover also, the story of liberation, which began, mid-April here.
Yeah, the Last Supper was the Passover Seder.
Yeah, and there's an egg on the Passover plate, and there's there are these things, there are symbols that work in all these faiths, right? So I think it's okay to have an Easter egg next to a he is risen sign. It's sort of like, what's going to hatch?
Yeah. It's going to be candy, because that's really the main thing.
It's all about the candy and the eggs. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, that's what a lot of kids think it is.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who's kind of struggling this year, who's just like, enough with this? Like, what is this? Like, what's the message? It's like, this is ours too? Like,
Yes, that. And it goes back to the same message. I feel like a broken record sometimes about how we approach stories as Unitarian Universalists.
Yeah.
We're not asking, is this story true? Did it actually happen? Was there an actual bodily resurrection? Was it a miracle? We're not asking those questions. For us, it's what is the truth or the meaning that we can find in this story? It's about metaphor. It's about, so yes, it's about the story, but not whether it actually happened. But what can we take from this?
Yeah. Does that help with the exasperated, Christians are all over my news feed? I don't know. I mean, Christian nationalism is promoting a kind of Jesus that is on TV right now in this one show that I saw where he's got a whip in his hand. He's whipping people, and it's Jesus as the rectifier of all wrongs, which is not the Jesus in the Bible. This is a Christian nationalist perspective, which is very abusive to the notions in Christianity anyway. So even real, solid Christians are exasperated by this stuff. And I think it's just more divisiveness and more challenge to what is right and what is real,
Well, but going back to what you were saying about reclaiming, one of the important dynamics of reclaiming is taking something that has been used oftentimes to hurt or to harm or to put down and saying, no, this is something that does have power and meaning, and it's not only that bad, harmful thing.
yeah. Also, lots and lots of people come on this Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's fun.
I know.
It is.
We have
We have a big
Joyful
egg
list.
hunt. And,
We have it's a big and quick.
It's more of a
Egg
scramble than
scramble.
a hunt.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But it is. People sometimes wear hats and dress up and go out with their families. It's a community moment for our church.
Yeah.
And it's special music and choirs. And it's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. So that's what it is. It's all those things.
Yeah.
And many more.
So come celebrate with us.
Yeah. Come celebrate. So thanks for joining us from the Pastor Study here on Tiny Pulpit Talk. And we hope you'll tune in, review us on all of our ways to do that. We've been getting some really fun questions that I've been engaging with, people from New Jersey and all over.
Neat.
So
All good questions come from people from New Jersey.
all good questions. All things from New Jersey make me wonder sometimes.
Hey, I'm from New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. So do all those things. We want to hear from you. And until then, we will see you on Sunday. So long.